Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hoping a fantastic day. Quick look here again at Avalanche. We're going to see what's going on. Just double check this here because we are broken below that, that previous ascending trend line, and in turn, in most cases, that ends up working as a resistance level. Again, a lot of this hinges on Bitcoin and how well or poorly it does. But Bitcoin isn't showing a lot of strength here today, and I think we could very well see a very red weekend just with Bitcoin dominance being higher. That continues to maintain itself. That could be the case. So let's double check a few key factors here and kind of see where we're at. And looks like we're have to reload the screen. So if you are new to the channel, may as well just let you know, welcome aboard. Thanks again so much for joining me here. The whole point of doing what I do here is to teach you to become a better trader and more responsible. I help people stop getting destroyed by the market and have steady, consistent gains. So if you're curious about that, CryptoCash.tech is the site where you can register. These are our results from last month, available on our Twitter and Discord. And we took some nice profits last night from a short on Bitcoin and a VeChain long, 316% in 4 months. I don't know if anybody can actually argue with that or be upset with that, because me personally, waiting 4 months for a trade like that to happen feels perfectly fine. That's very normal. That's what a swing trader mentality is all about. Don't expect massive results right away, but in time you continue to grow your portfolio, and that's the whole point here, is to ensure that we can retire and or utilize the benefits we see here for future reference and or full-time job, because I know a lot of folks are trying to make this their full-time thing. So welcome aboard. All right, so let's talk about this here. Let's go to Avalanche here on the back end data. This last 7 days of liquidation. You can see tons of liquidation at 38. I've talked about this previously, that being an area that could be swept. Okay, a lot of times price action will just kind of do one of these, and then all of a sudden, whoop, hits 38, and then just comes right back alive, right? We could very well see a very similar pattern from Bitcoin too. Retest that 50K range for a bounce, and the price takes off from there, or even 47K as a worst case scenario. Okay, but generally speaking, there's liquidation there that needs to be swept. I wouldn't say it's a guarantee it's going to happen, but it seems likely at this point, just based on the initial bearish divergence we can see. So let's go ahead and dive in first, because again, do we take a trade based on one divergence we see on the hourly time frame? No, we actually look at the whole thing, and we get a better holistic approach in understanding the big picture for everything. Okay, now these fibs are a little off. We're going to update this based on yesterday's daily candlestick closure. Again, we typically want to go with larger time frame candlestick closures. Me personally, daily fibs seem to be a little bit more efficient than 4-hour Fibonacci retracement levels, but that's just me personally, again, being more of a swing trader, right? If you're looking for some micro movements and you're more of a day trader, you may want to consider smaller time frames, but that's just generally the concept there. So we'll go ahead and pull this out. Let's take a look here at the moving averages. Again, coin's still very bullish, so not to say shorting into this coin is a bad idea. It's just that we do have a lot of support coming in this sub $38 range. So if you're going to have a short position, make sure it's a tight short. That's really the bottom line. We take a look here at RSIs. We can see RSI is still maintaining a decent area. Money flow index coming down, and so is stochastic. That's pretty standard for the situation, and we're starting to see a slight divergence on the MACD. But don't misinterpret this, folks. I'm not screaming that this is totally bearish. It's just not fully bullish. The important stuff is bullish, so you got to keep that in mind. So the moving averages, to me, that's the important thing. We can see a pretty solid support at 36. So again, shorting to that 38 or $36 range could net you, somewhere in the range of 4 to 8% profit, depending on obviously how much leverage you consider using. So that's just generally the concept there. I'm not saying that that's what you should do, but my mindset is, I feel like we're less likely to increase than decrease just based on breaking through this channel. We're also below the 20-day estimate, testing the 50. That's typically not a great look. We can see stochastic swinging upwards though, trying to recover, but we lost 50 on the RSI. That's a pretty definitive line in the sand to me, folks. Losing 50 on the RSI, you can see we've maintained it quite a few times here, and it's been since February 7th, roughly almost 9 trading days since we were below that level. And this is what it looks like when we're below 50 on the RSI. This is what it looks like when we're above 50 on the RSI. Okay? That's generally the concept there. So again, is that a guarantee? No, but being under 50 for the most part is not great, especially considering Bitcoin should pull back to the lower 51, possibly 50K range. That happens, I think $38 even or lower is a pretty solid consideration for this coin. All right, so taking a quick look here. Again, I'm leaning more towards 38 being a realistic number just based on liquidation. You can see that heavy concentration there. That works as a magnet, folks, and a lot of times big money wants to move the price in that direction so they can control the market and they can do whatever they want with it. Is it going to absolutely guarantee it's going to hit that? No. We do have a nice Fibonacci retracement level, 0.5 fibs, very strong support in most cases at 38.50. So hypothetically, that would be a consideration for a profit target. if you are considering that. Keep in mind, on the 1 hour time frame, we're below all moving averages minus the 200, which is holding so far at 39.85. So the truth is, we could see the price pivot and continue higher. Big picture, we're still establishing higher lows. Okay? That's not like a worst case scenario here. And in fact, we are also seeing this type of, I wouldn't say it's a flag pattern by any stretch, but it's a descending channel. And a lot of times those do break to the upside as well. Okay? So once more, it will break to the upside if Bitcoin doesn't fall any lower. Bitcoin drops, this coin will drop with it. It's generally the concept and what we need to kind of understand. The thing we also want to understand too is that we're below a key level resistance here, such as the Ichimoku cloud. So conversion line, lagging span, baseline, everything is in place of where it needs to be to hold and maintain your short position. Okay. Is this telling us to take a short right now? Not necessarily, but it is letting us know that we are in a bearish type of divergence here, and that we want to kind of pay attention to how the price action responds here soon. We've seen lower highs and lower lows so far in this trend. If we cannot break this descending trend, we'll go lower. Okay? Big surprise, right? The trend is your friend until it isn't. That's just like a best friend. They're typically going to be your best friend until they're not, right? So dumb. This is probably the worst analogy I've come up with yet. But the whole point is, I'm not an analogy expert, right? But I've been trading and teaching for almost over 20 years now, and I can tell you in this time frame, this is a situation in which we want to kind of pump the brakes, be careful with the long position. We're leaning more towards shorts being in play, just based on that fact that we have an hourly bearish divergence. We're underneath the cloud. We have a lot of reasons to keep your short position open. We also have indications on the 4 hour that we have a new resistance in play with 50 on the RSI. We have one last line of defense, the 200-day SMA on the hourly. And we're in a situation right now, while the price could very well recover, I think we're going to probably consider maybe seeing one more lower low. Okay? Again, I don't think we're going to see a dramatic drop from AVAX. We will, of course, if Bitcoin drops below a critical support. But for right now, I think that AVAX has more propensity to go down a little further than it does to go up. So again, just be careful with how you trade, honestly. Again, if you do take a short position, make sure it's fairly tight. You can make sure, obviously, as well, that you are in a situation where you have a realistic stop loss in place. Like, for example, the price does pull back up here. Stop loss just above this volume profile at about maybe 41.50, which is proven to be a very strong resistance and or support in the recent past. So I think 41.50 would be a good invalidation of this descending trend if it were to break above that level. All right, folks, that's pretty much what we got. Last thing, too, because I get tons of questions. Yes, we're having a trading competition with Bitunix later this month. You have to use my link to register. Link down below. No KYC or VPN exchange, though. Phenomenal exchange, folks. These guys are awesome. So please, 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 if you're in the US, Canada, or other countries where you have trouble with KYC or verification, it's just, look no further. They got you covered. They've been really awesome to our community. So thank you again, Bitunix. And they're also adding over 200 plus trading pairs this month, too. So really cool stuff. Check them out in your own time. Thanks again so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.